Joyce A. Hughes was a role model and a mentor for many of us.
What she means to me is more than specific moments. You know, she started off as a professor and then a mentor and then a friend.
We started at Northwestern about the same time, mid-1970s. So we have known each other for a very long time. We've been colleagues, been friends.
She was the first black law professor that I saw on campus. I just immediately gravitated to her, and she took me under her wing, and that's kind of how our relationship started.
She was extremely supportive of all of our efforts, and the doors were always open, and Professor Hughes' door was always open.
I was very fortunate to be at Northwestern, when Professor Hughes was there, but it was even more meaningful for me that she became a tenured professor while I was a student there.
It's amazing what Joyce Hughes has done, but it was so hard.
I am so grateful for all that Professor Hughes has contributed to our law school, to the profession, to society.
It's just amazing how she continued to just persevere through what must have been very challenging times.
It meant she was disrespected and dismissed and challenged by faculty members, by students.
I really admire her courage. I know that, as the first black tenured law professor at a predominantly white institution, I know that she probably faced a lot of challenges and struggles.
She clearly was a super role model. There were very few black women law students at the time. She was the only black woman law professor at the time, so we clearly looked up to her, as a significant role model.
When I was in law school, Professor Hughes was sort of a trailblazer.
I can't list all the first. She has at least 4 or 5 first.
Everything she wanted to do was a first. Everything she wanted to do hadn't been done before.
When Professor Hughes received tenure at our law school in 1979, she became the first black woman to be tenured in any department at Northwestern University.
It's just an extraordinary act of courage and service that she took on. It's always hard to be the first.
She's particularly important to me because of her presence.
And I think that it was really important to me to have a role model of another lawyer who was able to be successful. It did plant that seed that I can do it.
So her presence, for me personally, I think has a big reason why I was pretty confident in my career that I too could succeed.
When I think specifically of the advocacy and the scholarship and the work that Professor Hughes has done over the years, I am in awe.
To go into the office or go into the classroom and to see a professor that looks like you lets you know that we have to always be reminded of possibilities.
Just her mere existence, I think, was extremely helpful to a lot of people.
Physically walking through the law school, you don't see anyone that looks like you. And so you have these questions of do I belong? Can I do it? Am I smart enough?
She said, you deserve to be here. Don't let anyone, ever question that. I think Professor Hughes represents that spirit that we all need to have.
I owe her a huge debt because I've been able to build a career that I am hoping that my daughter sees the ripple effect.
There will be generations of people who don't know anything about her unless the movie that ought to be made about her is made about her, but they will be benefiting from the ripples of the people that she has taught and who have affected generations after them and continue to affect generations after them.
When I started law teaching, I was the first black female tenure-track law professor in the entire country. My first job as a professor was at the University of Minnesota Law School, and I suffered the double jeopardy of being black and female. I was dismissed often, challenged often, and treated with disrespect. A graduate of Northwestern, a black male graduate in the 1950s, said to me once, "You can't be what you can't see." So what I think is most important about me is that students can see, women and blacks can see, that it's possible for them to be law professors. And indeed, there are people that I've taught that are now law professors.
you.